We are joined here in studio by Drew Derenbacher with the Raising the Green for United Way. 104 holes of golf on Wednesday to raise money for the United Way. You and your partner, Bill Patrick, Drew, have done this the last couple of years. This is the third year of this event. Bill, unfortunately, unable to join us today, but you're here to tell us all about it. Great to see you again. How are things?
Things are great, Steve. Thank you so much for having us. Happy to be here.
So bring us back. I know we asked you this last year, but bring us back to how this got started a few years ago.
Sure. So a couple of years ago, Bill and I were both on the board of the United Way of CNY, and we got together and said, how can we raise some money for the United Way heading into the end of our fiscal year of June of 2 years ago? And we said, we both love the United Way, but we both love golf just as much. So let's blend something that involves playing golf and raising money for a good cause. So 2 years ago, we did that. It was for 102 years, 102 holes for 102 years of the United Way being in Syracuse. And so Wednesday of this week will be 104 holes for 104 years.
I saw you on Bridge Street this morning, and I saw Eric asked you, have things gotten any easier? And you guys responded with, no, it doesn't get easy. It's 104 holes of golf in one day. But what have you learned over the course of the last couple of years that now in year three, maybe things are running a little bit smoother than they did the first time around?
Yeah, definitely. Well, the first year we did it, if you might remember, we had the Canadian wildfires.
Right. Yeah.
And so we had the wildfires and then a ton of rain beforehand. So we got to the course maybe 4 a.m, and we're told by the superintendent, sorry, fellas, you guys got to walk. Can't take carts.
Wow.
So that first year we did on foot. But so thankfully this year we're going to have carts and be able to ride. But, we've got to run. We've got it almost down to a science. We've got great support from the United Way, from great local partners such as yourselves. We've got some generous donors that have helped us raise over $40,000 for the United Way over the last 2 years. So we're hoping to add to that this year.
All right. So where does the money go? Because people hear United Way, and we do a lot with the United Way. So I think that we collectively inside this building know, and over at Channel 9, we know kind of the different services that the United Way is involved in. But for somebody listening right now that maybe hears United Way all the time, but they don't know what the United Way does in our community, can you kind of touch on that?
Sure, definitely. So the United Way, I would say, connects and organizes and connects services to those in need. So we have many agency partners here in the community we partner with, whether it's housing and homelessness, early childhood literacy, job training. We're really just connecting with all the agencies around us that help serve those who need it in our community.
So this is obviously something near and dear to your heart. Can you, I guess, speak to the support that you've gotten from the community? You touched on, Calvary Club and the different sponsors and different partners, but it feels like you got a real winner here. I mean, did you imagine when you started this up 3 years ago that this would be the success that it's been, I guess?
I don't think so. I think when Bill and I got together, we had initially planned it as a one-off event, and then again, the support we got from the community was so great the first couple of years that we're going to keep doing it each year, keep adding a hole each year until we can't do it anymore. But if you're interested in learning more about the event, you can go to raisingthegreen.com, and that is where we've seen a lot of outpouring of listeners, of other donors who have heard about it. Might be the first time you connect with the United Way, learn more about it, what we do, and an opportunity to support our event.
Now, it's supposed to be really hot this week, and I know Wednesday isn't going to be as hot as maybe today or tomorrow, but it's still going to be very hot. And I mean this in all seriousness. Do you have to train for this? Because this is, I know you love golf, but this is a lot of golf in a short period of time. Do you have to, it takes some physical stamina, I would imagine, to do this every year?
Definitely. So I've started to hydrate. Been drinking a bunch of water today. We'll stay flexible. Probably will pack my cart with water, Gatorade, maybe some frozen candy bars, maybe a beer or two. Who knows?
Yeah.
And just that's what we'll do to prep.
All right. When you walked in here, you being a golfer, I wanted to get your thoughts on what we were just talking about on this show, and that's the Russell Henley situation from over the weekend. So I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here. So again, for those of you just joining us, Russell Henley, a professional golfer at the Travelers Championship on Friday, called a penalty on himself. He said he was standing over the ball on his backswing. His ball moved a dimple to the right. He said, I'm positive it moved. I immediately called a penalty on myself. And then, at the end of the day, at the end of the play on Sunday, he ends up one shot behind the winner, Keegan Bradley, cost himself probably $1 million+ and potentially a win on the PGA Tour.
He could have given some of that to the United Way.
Exactly. He
right?
could have. Yes, right. Great way to tie it in, Drew. I said I would love to think that I would have done the right thing, but I haven't been in that position, and I don't know. When you hear that story, Drew, I mean, what comes to mind? And we don't see that in any other other sport. We see, basketball players trying to convince the ref that they got fouled, or soccer players flopping and trying to get a yellow card. And in golf, people are calling penalties on themselves. When you hear that story, I guess, what comes to mind for you?
Well, golf is one of those sports where, your conduct and behavior is not always watched, because it really is an individual sport. Unless you're on TV or unless you have a rules official looking over your shoulder, you might be able to get away with something that you wouldn't be able to do in another sport. So when I hear Russell doing that, I think that's a lot of integrity on his behalf. I also read he was doing that to teach his child who was caddying for him.
That's right.
Right? The way to behave. And so I give him a lot of credit for doing that. And I think that would be a very tough position to be in.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
CJC in our chat says, I called myself on a stroke and missed qualifying for the New York State Open by 1 stroke.
Wow.
Yeah.
See,
that's tough.
I like hearing that. Like, I'm sorry for CJC. I'm sorry for Russell Henley. But like CJC has my respect.
But golf is the only sport you're doing this.
Yes.
Like I brought up the basketball analogy. If you foul somebody, you're not going to go to the ref. Hey, I fouled him.
I think tennis to some degree, right? Like not at Wimbledon because they've got technology, but at like the local level, you're calling your own lines. So again, there is a certain amount of. You put the trust in the opponent that they're going to call the lines the right way.
If there's no official, right? But if there's an official doing it and they screw up, I'm not telling them.
Right, and I wouldn't expect you to. But in
somebody
the game
else's
of golf,
job.
You're right. It really is just the game of golf where it's unwritten rules and a lot of written rules on top of it.
Right. The old saying is golf is a gentleman's game, and it's a game of integrity, and it's an elevated expectations of conduct, I guess, when you're on the golf course, even when no one is watching you.
Right. I was just going to say, isn't that what they say about character? That you reveal your character when no one is watching. What do you do when no one is watching?
Right.
So for CJC to say that, or Russell Henley, they've got my ultimate respect for doing that. Because I think that says a lot.
I'm usually doing nothing when nobody's probably sleeping or sitting on my couch and nobody's watching, so I can't get in any trouble.
Drew, just to dial it back here to Wednesday, what else do we need to know about this? If people want to give, if people want to get involved, somebody listening right now, they say, I want to support Drew and Bill and what they're doing and support the United Way. How do they go about doing that?
So we've got a website, www.raisingthegreen.com. And on that webpage, you can learn more about the United Way, who we serve in our community, and obviously have the opportunity to donate to support our cause. So that's raisingthegreen.com. That link is going to be available for the next several days, so you have plenty of time to get on, share it, spread it around. We'd love for you to come on and support us as we get this done.
And it's not just the two of you playing, right? Like you'll be joined throughout the day. Like other people will join in.
Yep.
Correct?
So we have a couple generous sponsors who are going to send some foursomes our way. They're not playing 104 holes, but they are going to play 18. And get a chance to be out there and supporting us. We greatly appreciate them as well.
That's awesome.
It's going to be hot out there. Do you know, guys, that it's never been 99 in Syracuse?
Well, no, it's been 99. The high temperature has never been 99.
Yeah, well, the high temperature in Syracuse has never been 99.
It's never hit 100 here before?
No, it's hit 100.
It's hit 100.
It's never been 99.
Never stopped at 99. The high temperature has never been 99. So it's either been 98 or below, or 100 or above. The final high temperature.
The final high temperature.
The high temperature on a given day.
Well, I hope it's 99. Not that on Wednesday.
Isn't that cool?
That is pretty cool.
He's making fun of me because I brought that up, and he was just like, "Oh, okay."
Like most people do.
I think Drew was like, "Wow, that's
fascinating.
That is fascinating. I think it's fascinating." All right, Drew.
Exactly. That's my point.
Anything else that we didn't touch on?
No, I think we hit it. Thank you guys both very much again. If you're interested in supporting us, you can check out raisingthegreen.com to support the United Way of Central New York, and we appreciate everyone's support. Thanks, guys.
Good luck on Wednesday. I'll see you out there. And with that, we'll take our final time out. We will wrap things up next on ESPN Radio.